Please welcome Woz.
Great to see such an audience here. It's all exciting, you know. And my life is not that much in the network world, but I'll talk a little bit about how deeply it is. I was lucky. I grew up in Silicon Valley, you know, in Sunnyvale. Near Cupertino was orchards as far as you could see. And, you know, we had everything. We had cars, we had our bicycles, we had food, we had all our entertainment. Life was wonderful in this valley. But only one person had to work in order to afford to live here. So I would teach the kids one thing about storage. If you get a phone call and your mom is in the hospital and she's, you know, in some extreme pain or undergoing some emergency surgery, what do? Back up your hard disk and get to the hospital as quick as you can. And I still try to practice that as best I can. I think the tablet is not necessarily for the people in this room that much, it's for the normal people in the world. And for example, a lot of us have a lot of work we do in the engineering laboratory, and we've got to run, you know, programs that really, you don't really have that type of app on the tablet. Input-output devices and control. Yeah, I think it's more for, like normal use, like a person used to have a television set and just use it. Their appliances of the house. I think we've finally gotten there. I think Steve Jobs had that intent from the day we started Apple. But it was just hard to get there because we had to go through a lot of steps where you connected to things, and computers grew up to where they could do, you know, normal consumer appliance things.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and tablet something else.
Why aren't you with Apple now?
You know, in a way, I'm so closely connected with Apple that anything good Apple does, it almost rubs off on me a little. I actually keep a small little paycheck so I can say that it's a game. I'm the only person who's been on the payroll computer at Apple from day one without one exception, not one day off of it. And you can see Jobs can't say that. I wanted to be an engineer for my life. And I finally did it, but I was only because I could be an engineer still. And when we started, we defined our roles, and mine would be engineering, and I decided I'm not going to try to tell somebody what kind of box we need or how to market this or what an advertisement should say, because they've been doing marketing for 15 years, they know this stuff. And I know engineering. I'll do my engineering. Nobody can attack me in that regard. And so I just stayed in engineering, and Steve Jobs went into learning how to run every division of a company. You know, I call that a much more important role, especially the person who runs things has got to understand the technology even if they don't do it themselves. So, you know, so my role in the company was never to run a company, not to be involved at that big high level, and just because it had a big success, I had these ethics that let me do the things I would have done if Apple had never happened. Like teaching school for 8 years, 5th grade, that had been a goal in my life. You know, going back to college, getting my degree under a fake name, Rocky Raccoon.
Back in 1983 at CPM 83 in Boston, we were walking out of your talk there where you said you weren't going to announce the Macintosh, and we were looking for the restroom, and you were looking around, and I said, "It's that one over there. It's got the little figure of a guy on it." And you said, "Oh, I'm not really very icon driven." Have you learned anything about user interfaces that you'd like to share in the last 30 years?
I don't even remember anything. I do remember being in Boston on stage with Steve Jobs.
This is CPM 83.
TV. I'd like to find out if Jobs was an easy person to get along with.
I was such an easy person to get along with. People that just doesn't make enemies. I don't confront, and you know, and I don't like fights, and yeah, we had a lot in common. I was sharing ideas about the world and music and this and that. He was a little hyper and always going off and you know, doing a lot of different things. That he was more into the counterculture, and I was more feet on the floor, but appreciate the counterculture from, you know, just a thinking point of view. So, you know, I forget what the question was exactly. But and he was always looking for technology, the newest technologies introduced by companies, like a new chip or a new floppy floppy disk drive or this and that, whatever ran into. How do we incorporate that into a product? Was always, from the earliest days on. And, making, having the most outstanding product meant a lot to him also. I was, as personal computers turned to networks, I got into networks programming all my routers, setting them up, having a lot of servers in my homes. I became a network administrator for quite a long time in my life, and it was a misery. My kid said he was going to be a network administrator, I'd have thrown him out of the house.
With innovation changing about every 3 months now, what do you see as a long-term new innovation that's coming out that weathers like the internet did, or has?
Well, obviously solid-state storage in all of its current embodiments is a big area that we're well aware of. A lot more of gesturing and touch devices, I think, is in the future, even the terminal you use at work. I believe, I would love to see, I'm going to have some very far-off dreams of my own that are not happening yet. We're not at the point we can do them with going into the technology, such as pure photonics, where logic gates are always formed by beams of light, but it's manufactured to high density the way chips are. We're still looking for a holy grail in storage, obviously, where we have something as fast as DRAM, but non-volatile. There's a couple other ideas, but they don't hit me right here on the fly right now.
Right.
They come to me when they come.
I'm still digesting everything you said because you threw Japan, Lizzie Lohan, Charlie Sheen, and I'm thinking the D-list, Kathy Griffin.
Thank you. That
That's what I really want to know.
That means a lot to me. Actually, these TV shows. When I was on Big Bang Theory, producer Chuck Lorre became sort of a friend there, treated me very nicely, and then all of a sudden Charlie Sheen is saying these horrible things about him.
I know.
I could like Charlie's personality, but I don't like him.
Share your thoughts on Dancing with the Stars.
We all come into cases in our work where we're asked to do something that maybe we aren't sure that we can do. We've never done that before. I'm going to go in. I know that there's certain kinds of technical things I can do very well. I always come up with a solution, but Dancing with the Stars, it's like, I don't know if I can even do this. Am I going to be able to jump out of a plane and skydive? And it was terrifying. I don't watch television. When they called, I said, what is Dancing with the Stars? I'd never heard of the show. This is the truth. And I didn't know what dancing was. And so when they talked me into it over and over, and they're so nice, and I fall for nice people. And then I went through about 4 weeks of terror, thinking I wasn't going to be able to do a dance on TV. What do you do if you can't do it? And then I finally got to the point I could get through 1 little minute-and-a-half dance with, even if I screwed up, I could recover. And I felt so happy, and I thought, oh my God, this is so much fun. The energy, the sweat. I had 2 hospital injuries. But when you work that hard at something, it makes it that much more valuable to you. And I just tell anybody, it's the most fun thing you could ever do in your life. Getting to see how television shows are made, that was really a learning experience for me. The sort of people that work there, talking with them all, making so many friends. You become really bonded with the celebrities because every one of them is like you. Almost every one of them is so scared they can't do it. When you start, so you make some really good friends. One thing I did is a really nice thing was I sent a little package to every one of their trailers, 27 trailers, for the professional dancers and the celebrities. And it had a little joke book in it and a little gift note I wrote about let's exchange addresses. Then I hand wrote for each one of them a 1 to 2 page letter telling them why they were good in the world. And I just wanted to leave, some little goodness, good thought in their heads. And it was the most incredible experience ever in my life.